Hello, welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, the Emerged Believer Podcast, where we unravel the profound impact and influence of the gospel in our lives with your host, Ayadi. I know there's a lot that comes with being a Christian and wanting to stay true to your faith in the culture and age that we live in. Each episode of this podcast, you get to hear genuine stories of how you can live out your faith, deepen your relationship with God, and still thrive in every aspect of your life. And my hope is that each of these stories will inspire you and empower you on your own journey. With me today is Oluwatumininu Elemoso. She's a lady who believes solely that she is graced by God. She is passionate about building godly and purpose-filled relationships. Anthonia is an author, co-host of the TheGidiPodcast, and a project or event coordinator. She lives by the statement, love your neighbor as yourself, which propelled the writing of a debut book, Lens, and she has birthed two incredible books after her Back on Different Birds and Her Father's Daughter. Join me today on this episode with Anthonia. Hey, to me, thank you once again for joining me on this podcast, on this episode. I'm so excited to have you here, to have you, have all these wonderful conversations. And I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So to start off this conversation, I hope it's going to be fun. Yeah, to start off this conversation, I know as believers, God did not promise us that this journey will be without challenges. So my first question to you today is, what has been one of the most challenging seasons you have faced on your journey as a believer that you can share? It's okay for you to share.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that I'm being reached out to have a conversation because and then again, throughout this year I haven't had any conversation about God, anything about, the scripture or Christianity or anything because I intentionally ran away from those conversations this year because I think I was going through a phase and I really wanted to understand more. The reason why I was in that phase and what God had for me and what I needed to learn. And when I saw the question, because I was just like, this question is seasonal, like it's in time. It's in time.
Wow.
Because I gave my life to Christ officially, like when you say, okay, I surrender to you, take control, and this is how like it's you and you alone now. I'm not mixing with anything in 2016. And since then I'm like, okay, this is not like I've not been a Christian all my life. Like I've been a Christian all my life. Went going to all my universities were Christian schools. All my education was Christian schools from the get-go, and my parents were pastors and all that. But when you officially say that I surrender to God and I want you to take control and I'm going to, build an active relationship with you and be intentional, it was 2016. And if I calculate the time I've been through it, if I want to think about the time I've been through it, I would say that it was this year. Like this year hits me, bars, goes left, right, and center. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow, this is funny. Like you asked a question, you said we're not promised everything, and we think that we're promised everything. Like some people think that when they give their life to Christ, everything becomes perfect, everything becomes beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was one of them, like, okay, now I've given my life to Christ, everything's going to be looking rosy and all, like the promises and everything that God has for me, I'm going to see it immediately and all that. But at the end of the day, like you're on that journey and wondering, wait, was that what did they say again? Because I don't get it. Why is it seeming like they lied to me? Who lied and
Mm,
who is the
mm,
person? And this particular year, I could share, like I saw the question and I'm like, I'm open to share. This January, as we enter January this year, I lost my job. January 5th. And I was like, in fact, when I got the news, I was like, it's not possible. Like, this job that I prayed to God for, this job that I was very, like, when I got the job, I was so thankful to God. And at that January will have been 6 months getting the job. So I was like,
mm,
how is it possible? And then when my manager reached out to me, I tried to ask, what's the reason? And she was like, oh, nothing. We just want to reduce the team. I'm
mm,
like, and why is it me? Yeah, I
mm,
was really bored. And that day, funny thing was that on that day, I was watching Wafbeck as I was at work. I was
mm,
working with Bill as a project coordinator. I've been watching Wafbeck from the first day, like day one. So I was there, I was actively praying and everything, I'm like, wow,
mm.
this year will be supernatural. I'm on the altar. I mean,
Right. Mm,
and it just happened. Like I had to pause when I got the meeting link, I had to pause my I think it was Pastor Andy Osakwe that was preaching. I had to pause it to, attend the meeting quickly, then continue listening to Wafbeck. And they gave me the news, and I was like, I
mm,
didn't believe it. I was in shock because I'm like, God, you're the one that gave me this job. I remember when you gave me this job and how I prayed hard for it. And now all of a sudden, this is what's happening. So I turned around and I didn't, after the meeting, they were like, oh, so you can log out of your system and then that's the end, blah, blah, blah,
mm,
blah. And they will come pick up no, to send me a pickup kit to send my system and everything back. I was like, nah, maybe this is just weird. I was really, really shocked. I didn't believe it. So, but then Pastor Andy said something like there'll be that we get to a time where some news would come to you and there'll be bad news, and then you have to, you don't have to share the bad news anymore. Just share with God and let God handle it. I didn't believe
mm.
that I would still like even the bad news that I heard at that time was I didn't believe that it was I thought there was going to be a change because
A
I'm like,
change.
God,
Mm,
this particular year, the plan. And even before entering the year, like I turned around, like I'm like, okay, because early that was last year. If I got the job too, myself, I said that we had a fight, myself and God. Like, what do you want? I was like, what do you want? And I'm just going to like I'm just going to explain my relationship with God. To me, I see it as a love affair. I see it as a love relationship. I
Mm,
see it as a father-daughter relationship, and I also see it as a romantic relationship. Like I see it like I treat it like a romantic relationship. Like I don't want to hurt you. I love you that much that I don't want to hurt you. I care about you that much. That's how I see it because I know that he has that same feeling for me. Like he loves me so much that he won't lie to me.
right.
One of my favorite scripture is that God is not a man that should lie, neither is he a man that should repent. Has he said that he will not do it? And so I'm always looking, I'm like, he loves me so much that he won't lie to me, he won't pretend to me. So he would, be wonderful to me. So I'm like, so last year I was like, what do you want that I've not done? I've been very consistent. I've tried my best. I did pray. Hey, if you want me to pray, I pray. If you want me to say, I do. What do you want? That was when I was
Mm,
looking for the job. I'm like, then that I think that year, that's when I did my School of Disciple. Then that the Geo came to Canada. We had he came to Canada. I went. It was the day we did our graduation for the SOD, that School of Disciples, that I got the call that I got the job. So I'm like, you gave me this job. It has to be you. And then the job went, and I was just like, God. So that point last year, I know I fought with God because I was like, we've broken up. Oh, let everybody pack their load and separate. Go your go, make I go my go. I'll do what I want to do.
oh my God.
I do whatever I want to do, and whatever it is that you want to I don't want to hear anything from. Don't speak to me again because I don't know why you cannot just listen to me. I need things to work out. Something in Canada is like you have to get income. If you don't have an income in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
you won't be able to do a lot of things.
Mm,
You won't be able to create something. So you do this plan. There are plans. I'm like, I have plans. I have things to do. And just
right.
making everything just pause in my life. I've been waiting for you on this, waiting on that, waiting on that. No answer. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just go our separate ways. That was last year. And
Mm,
it was the day I said to God, I had that interview. That was last year, and I was like, God, okay, this is it. I'm going to go on my knees and I'm going to ask you, just help me. I don't have any. I don't know what kind of prayer you want me to pray. Just answer me. And he did, and I got that job. So when I lost the job, I was like, I couldn't think about a lot of things. I just said to myself, well, this is it. So I just left I live with my parents currently. I just left everything. I went to the parlor. I was watching TV. I was watching TV. It was the TV that was watching me. I was not watching the TV. I was just looking like, what's going on here? Mom was like, what's wrong with you? Just looking. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, just looking, what's wrong with you? I just turned at her and water dropped from my eyes. Like I was weeping. I was like, I just lost my job. She was like, how is it possible? It's not possible. After all you prayed, after everything that you did, I'm like, I don't think it was so painful. And since January 5, I've been searching. I've been applying. I've been there, and I'm just like, there are points where I'm like, I don't think it's by my power. Yeah, I've done some contract jobs, but you're looking for that full-time job and you're at rest. You don't have to think about it ends in 3 months or it ends in 6 months or ends in anything. You're like, you know. So I've been active. God has been providing. The funny thing was that He has been coming through. And the amazing thing is how you're talking to God and saying, God, I need to answer my prayers for this, and this. And He's telling you, pray for that person. Pray for that person. Especially when you have a relationship with God. Pray for that. Or He's just giving you a dream about somebody. And I'm like, I don't understand. My own matter, you not tell me.
I'm talking about myself here.
Answer me, And a lot of people just randomly say, to me, can you remember when we prayed about this? I'm like, yeah, I remember. I Google remember. It's my daughter. I wrote it down. But I'm like, God, So so this year, there were times when I just had to get up and, get dressed, look good, attend, function that I didn't want to attend because I wasn't happy inside of me. It feels like everything around me just paused. The prayers, there's no answer, but you feel like the answer is coming, it's somewhere. And then you're getting words from people. People are telling you, oh, I had a word for you. Abba said I should tell you. I can't forget this one. She said, Abba said I should tell you that he loves you so much. I'm like, you should better go and sit down. So you cannot tell him by himself, tell you another person tell me. Like she better go. She said, no, I just want you to know. There was this particular time I'd prayed all night and I was like, God. So I decided this particular year that the way I did last year is not the way I'll do this year. So I won't be upset with you. I won't be angry with you. I would enjoy your presence. I would try my best to be calm and I'll rest in you. And I need somebody to learn from this. I try my best not to try to work things from my perspective and try to just allow you do things. It's not easy. I will not lie to you. It's not easy because you're seeing things move around you. Things are happening and you're waiting. Waiting is not an easy thing. Waiting is not beautiful. Waiting is not, in fact, I don't pray it for anybody. I used to say that now I'm enjoying my waiting season. Then I wasn't enjoying. Now I'll tell you that and I had to get to this point of the waiting season when I knew I'd gotten there was earlier in November, the first week in November. So I had struggled from January, tried to do things, tried to make things happen, prayed, but and you're like, okay, this is my waiting period. I know this is you're telling that this is a phase. It will be good by God's grace and all. And you're hoping that the next month your testimony did not come. You're like, God, I'm still with you. Then you switch from having to pray for yourself to pray for people. That's one thing I learned. My mentor was like, if you've been praying for yourself and you're not seeing result is somewhere is coming, just pray for people, pray for other people. So I started basking in other people's testimonies. This particular friend of mine, he would call me, would be praying about the same thing. When his testimony came, I'm like, God, I beg. I was like, I was really very, very happy for him. But my response after I told God, thank you, finally you got in testimony. And I said, I'm like, God, I beg. Like can see that you're in my corner, so you definitely have to answer me. So I just want to share this quick story, then I can like answer your next question because I talk too much. I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm enjoying it.
So there was this particular job. I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for it. The plan was that the job was perfect in every way you can think about. People that are close to me, I'd shared it with them that if the job comes, we're packing our load and we're relocating because the job will require me to relocate, and they were planning everything. So I was like, God is about to do the miracle. God is, see, you people just get ready. But when I applied for the job, I just applied for it casually because I didn't think that it was going to be anything serious. So I applied, and then I got an email that, I was told to record a video of myself for interview. I was like, oh, okay, thank God I recorded. Then I got an email next 2 weeks. I started the interview process in June. Next week
Wow.
or next 3 weeks or something, they were like, oh, now you can go to the first phase. So I met the first person that had the interview, and I did the interview. I'm like, okay. I wasn't even praying about it. Like, we're just doing this because the plan was to resume next year. That's 2024. So I didn't deep it at all. Then I got the interview done. So the next, another 3 weeks again. So we're already entering July, entering August, that I qualified to go to the third phase. So I was like, this is getting serious. So it's time to pray about this. Like, maybe it's time to go to Asara. So I told my close friends, I'm like, God is about to do something marvelous in my life. So you just get ready, pack your load because we're about to leave Canada. And it was so exciting and everything. And I was like, God, I am ready. Like, if this is how you're going to answer me big this year, then let's do this. So I was really, really eager. Then I had the third phase. It was good. And I moved to the fourth phase. I did the interview at the first phase, and then I got a call in October that I passed, and I'm moving to the final phase where I'm going to speak to the global coordinator and blah blah blah. So I was like, yes. In my mind, I'd gotten the job already. In fact, they had sent me something to send to my references. So my references, 4 of them, immediately they were like, we're on this side, everything. Send it. So I was like, interview that we are doing is just formality. Let's just wrap it up. Like, yeah, we're about to go. And then I did the interview and I was so excited. I was like, I know. So that morning, the morning of the interview, I was praying, and the Holy Spirit, I don't know whether it was the Holy Spirit or maybe it was me, but I think it was the Holy Spirit. I had this question in my heart. If you do not get this job, what will you do?
That's a very hard question.
And then I sat down. I was cleaning the house when I was praying. And then I sat down and I was like, if I don't get this job, what will I do? And then I searched my heart deeply, deeply, and I said to God, I'll still know that you're a good God, and I'll still rest in you. In fact, my joy will be in you because I know that there is a purpose for everything. I just want you to know that I trust you and I love you. And I said it so loud. I want you to know that I trust you and I love you, and I would not change my mind. Nothing would change my mind. I'm not leaving you alone. I don't know where that came from, where that strength came from. So I just said, but God, I beg. When I say, oh, this isn't God, I beg, I must not lose the job. Because the lady had told me that you're going to get a call this particular day. So I was expectant for the call. That morning of the call again, that morning that the call was supposed to come, that's for the response of the job. I also had that thing again. I'm like, nah, nothing could change my mind. I'm here and I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere. Last year, I know I was forming this thing, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I love you. I know you would do something good. So I went out. In fact, I was in the car when I got the call. It was a friend of mine when I got the call. As soon as I got the call, and she just went, unfortunately, I just put my hand on my head. I just put my hand on my head. I'm like, wow. And then she said, oh my God. And she was I didn't hear everything she was saying after that. And I was like, wow.
Obviously.
And then the person behind me, but the person I went to speak in the car, he already knew, like, when people close to you are like, you've told them now, you people should be praying this prayer with me because it's for all of us.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I feel like the shock was around. Wow, like, I wanted you to get this. So he was not trying to console me, calm me down. No, I was not even, I didn't have the expression. I didn't say anything. I was just looking. I was like, I was just like, wow. I was driving the car and I just drove to where we're going to. Got down. I couldn't say anything. I was just looking. And the person was like, oh, don't worry, there are better things coming. I know you wanted to get this job, blah, 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 blah. But don't worry, God is there, this and
Mm.
this and that. I was just listening to what he was saying, but my mind was just my mind just kept on taking me back to what happened in the morning and the day before the day of the interview. If you don't get
Mm.
this job, what will you do? And I was just like, God,
Mm.
I've been waiting for you since.
Mm.
What exactly do you want to teach me? That's where I got to.
Mm.
But then after I went to pick my cousin. I told my cousin, hey, guess what? I'm going to tell you this thing, but don't panic, don't shout though. She was like, what happened? I'm like, I didn't get the job. She started crying because she
Mm.
knew the gravity of, how like waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Told my other friends that I told to pray with me on it. They're like, is it possible? And everybody's reaction was different from mine.
Mm.
For me, for the first day I did not react. The second day I didn't react. And I was like, to me, react. What is going on? Like, say something, get angry or react. Nothing. It was so calm. Like I was just calm until Sunday. I got news on Friday. Sunday, I busted into praise and I just started praising God. I don't know where it
Mm.
came from. I just started praising God. I'm like, I just want the devil to know wherever he is. It was so loud, wherever he is,
Mm.
that nothing is taking me from this place. You
Mm.
might be testing me now, might be trying to know where I stand, but I need to know this is where I stand. I'm standing with God.
Mm.
And the joy that surpassed my understanding. You know, when they say joy and peace are supposed to understanding,
Yeah.
that it would comfort you, it was more than I can ever imagine. I felt so good. I felt so good. I came out from the room. I told my cousin, let's go and buy. I was able to go buy a shoe yesterday. She was like, this one, it's like you don't, yeah, don't take care of your life. I'm like, we'll see. It has happened, it has happened. We move.
Mm.
And I was
We
like, we move.
move.
In fact, I'm applying for the job again next time when I see the offer. Like,
Mm.
because they have like different positions opening every day. I'm like, oh, don't
Uh,
worry, I'll apply again. Then let's move. You know, but that particular experience taught me something.
Mm.
It one day I saw the state of my heart that I'd changed from being the give me kind of Christian to I love you.
Mm.
I don't want to give me things. I want to do more of that relationship, do more of learning with you, do more of embracing you. It's painful. It's
Mm.
not easy to be in that position, but I think one of the things that God wants us to do as Christians is that He wants to have that relationship with us. He wants to, whatever it would even take, you away from he's a jealous God.
Yeah.
Whatever would take you away from his presence or from spending time with him, he will take it away from you.
Mm.
So he would try you have to look for ways to everything should be wrapped around your
Centered.
Christian journey with God.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be you trying to wrap around your Christian journey with your job, your
Mm-hmm.
life, your kids, and everything. You know, our
Mm.
life should be wrapped around prayers. It should be wrapped around the relationship with God. Where you
Right.
can, from that relationship, you're able to pick things, you're able to decipher things. I think I grew more in my understanding of my journey in this period than any
Mm.
other thing, because there are times when I know that I just prayed and I haven't got that's my prayer, but I have to stand up and celebrate a friend of mine who's getting married, or a friend of mine who has given birth, or go for a bridal
Mm.
shower that I didn't even have so much money to pay for the bridal shower, but I have to squeeze something to pay for it. And I go there and I'm the happiest person in that place because I'm like, me, I like celebration, me, I like love, me, I like children, and all these things. So, you're pushing
Mm.
yourself to do what was not easy for you, but God is on the throne. So I said all this to encourage someone who is very uncomfortable with the process they're in right now.
Mm.
Because all these things I said, I'm like, God, I know that it is the last I would use them to say story, because you cannot preach about what you don't experience. It's
Mm.
Yeah, you can preach about it and you can say, but
Don't have such
there is
power.
more authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
yes, when it comes from, you can talk to somebody and say, see, this and this and this, you go through it, but you will be victorious at the end of the day.
Mm.
Our testimonies are like, they're like results of the tests we've been through. So
Yeah.
That would be my answer to that
Wow.
question.
That is so. Thank you for sharing. And to be honest, my heart was just drawing to you for some reasons. Even the questions. I was in a program yesterday when all these questions just, it wasn't what I wanted to ask you. And to be honest, well, you can even say we had not discussed any of this before today. So I didn't even know what you were going through. And it's just interesting and amazing at the same time that all these things that you said are indeed powerful. And you kind of answered my first and second question at the same time. Our journey we can't go through this journey as believers smoothly. It's not a smooth ride. It would always come with all these challenges. And that's why I said, God did not promise us that this journey will be without challenges. We will go through trials and tribulations. But his word says we should be of good cheer because he has overcome the world. So, I mean, you spoke about a lot of things. And waiting, like you said, is not easy. I know there's so many people waiting. They have one or two things that they're waiting for, and they would be able to relate that waiting is not easy. I mean, it's easy to talk about it that, oh, yes, I waited this period. But I mean, the period itself, being in it is not easy. I mean, if you're in it, and even now, I like the fact that, not that I like, well, I mean that I'm able to have this session with you, able to talk about it because you're still in that journey, you're still in that phase, and you have been able to get to the point of surrendering. Yeah. Been able to get to the point of peace. I mean, when you experience, and that's why as believers, you said a lot of things to unpack. Honestly, there are a lot of things to unpack. And I was thinking of my own challenges too as it went. Honestly. And, you know, we go through all these trials. But when we get to the point and we surrender and we just say, God, take the wheel. It's not about me. And I also wanted to say the part where you got to the point where you stop praying for yourself. As believers, we should realize that our life, our journey is not just about us. No. We are other people, other destinies are connected to us. Attached. Yeah. So we can't just be living our lives and selfishly, like it's just about me. Exactly. I think I say something to someone like if something happens to you, like this situation that happened to you right now, and you just remained downcast, you just didn't bother about anybody, all your friends that had things to celebrate, it means that you're selfish. It means that you're selfish, you're just about yourself. But because you got to the point and you said, no, it's not about me. It's about the people around me. And that's another level. That's another level. Like you're going through, you can imagine someone waiting on God for fruit of the womb, and you see the person going for baby shower, and people will be wondering, hey, you left your own and you're carrying all that. It's people. It's just people that wonder, but God knows what seed you are sowing. Yeah. That time. Yeah. You said a lot of things, honestly, the part of the state of your heart when you're asking about, when you're in that challenge, you know, you're asking about that thing, or you're waiting for God on that part. What is the state of your heart at that particular time? Which is really key, because people ask for a lot of things and people wonder, oh, why have I not gotten it? But really, what's the state of your heart when you're asking why do you want to get that thing? And it takes you back to that relationship with God. It takes you back to where your focus is. It takes you back to where your heart is. Because people, they say, oh, I want to get another job, or maybe I want to get another house because, you know, so that people will know that I have how many houses, or you want to get another car because, you know, or you want to do something just because of the selfish part of you. All those things are fun things to have, but what is the state of your heart? And I know this session is not enough to a lot of things that you said in there, and you touched on that piece, which was the second thing I wanted to ask you about. So there's no need to ask about it because you already explained how you got to that point. I mean, well, on a high level, you got to the point of peace. You just allowed peace to take over. And honestly, as you were talking to, I remember this scripture in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 4. I'm going to paraphrase where it says, we go through hard times, so that when someone else goes through that situation, you're there. I'm paraphrasing. I'm trying to, my Bible is not close by, but yeah. So we go through some situation because we want to help or encourage someone else. And that's why I'm also saying this journey that we're going through is not just for ourselves. So we're going to go through those challenges because God knows that someone else's destiny is connected to you, and he wants to use that experience to change that person's life. And you sharing this today, honestly, I'm so blown. Thank you again for sharing, for just, being open about this experience, because I know that some people might even be experiencing this and they just don't know who to talk to, who to even share it to, because the people around you, again, they matter. Depends on if you're around people, they'll just be like, helping you to whine, then you will start crying, yeah, because that's another thing. They will help you to dwell. I know it's out of their good, is good intention, but they're helping you to sorrow. So you keep dwelling in the, you should have gotten it, you should have gotten it. So I mean, this will really help and encourage people out there, because I know a lot of people that, especially for job search, they have been waiting. So thank you again to me for sharing this. So, I hope you were blessed by the first part of this conversation with Anthonia. Stay glued to this platform and watch out for the concluding conversations of this episode. Remain blessed.